Hi students, how are you all? Welcome in our SS lecture and we have chapter 6 Gender and our country. Gender and our country. We'll see. Well, in our last period we have seen many things about that social evils and the position of women is there in our country, how that women's work are that denied and they are not paid for her household work. She has to do more work at house, but the value of her work which she has done at home, it is zero. The value of that work is a zero, and the men, those men who are working outside, their value is more than women. In short, female are there that inferior than men, and the value of their household work is just zero. They have to do more labor for household work, and they are not getting that preference. They are getting place of secondary place. They are getting. So, women in public places. We'll talk about women in public places. Women face harassment, crime, and violence in urban and rural areas. Women are facing violence, crime, harassment in both rural and urban areas. Well, in a developing country or developed country, same problem is going on. Women are getting women are facing problem of harassment and crime and violence. They live in a constant fear. They live in constant fear of violence towards them in public spaces as well as especially in our country. This problem is going on. In most cases of that sexual violence, in most of the cases of sexual violence, men blame women for their behavior. In most of the sexual cases of sexual violence, the men blame women for their behavior, and men only blame women for their behavior. Some believe that women provoke men by the way they dress, and some believe that women moving around the night deserve to be sexually harassed. Men believe that men blame in some cases of sexual violence. Men only blame women for their costumes and their dress. Some believe that women only provoke men by their dresses, and some women means moving around at night deserve to be sexual harassed. This has led to innumerable cases of irritating and other some problems that harassments and happening, and the teasing and other forms of sexual harassments problems are faced by the women. And sexual adulting, including that rape and murder. So that sexual harassment problem women are facing, then that adult, including that rape and murder. Women do not find public places. They are not safe at public places, including that markets, clouds, railway stations, bus stops, that everywhere on the platform they are not safe. This that reduces that freedom of movement and that female participation in work. So this fear is there, the violence, the sexual violence. This reduces their freedom and their movement and their participation in schools work and public work. It limits their access to voice various services and cultural and leisure their activities. It also has a negative impact on thinking of women and physical and mental health also affected by this problem. A very few laws are there. They have been made addressing these issues. So, women are facing a lot of problem outside the home, and most of the cases, women were there. They are only blamed by the men. The role of media is there. Media too play an important role in influencing women that stereotype. Media also played important role to remove some infanticides of women. For example, advertisements tends to show women in a gender that specific roles like cooking, cleaning, and buying grocery means that done by the woman. So that tends women in gender specific roles cooking, cleaning, buying, and grocery. In most of the movies, women are placed in the secondary role. In most of the movies, you can see women are placed secondary roles. For example, advertisements tends to show women in general that specific roles like cooking, cleaning, dancing, then and buying that grocery. So that woman position is at secondary place. This kind of images make their society place women in that general specific roles. However, there has been a gradual development in the gender and some awareness came in women because of education and time, and that efforts are many to remove that female infanticide and infanticide. So, the media plays an important role in influencing women's stereotype that advertisements show that women in gender specific roles like cooking, cleaning and buying and grocery. This is the most important. The most important thing is that the role of education. The role of education, it plays most important role. Gender is prevalent in the field of that education too. You know, when women receive little schooling in a interior village, women are not sent, girls are not sending for educations. They are getting just primary educations and not getting that further educations. This is because widely that held view that women will get married and then take care of the household work, and they perform that household duties. So their education expenditure is there. It is like a burden on the family, and it is like a burden on family. So most of the families in rural area, they are not sending girls at school for education. Their education expenditure is like a burden for the family members. In some traditional that Indian society, girls were not allowed to go to school. They stayed at home and helped with the domestic that household work, and like take care of that house, take care of that siblings, and help to her mother. However, in changing of some time and gradually more and more girls are getting education, and the literary rates of female is increasing slowly. In India, in fact, the rate of literary is increasing. Literary rate in the local total percentage is there of literary rate of education of women are increasing. Well, in 1961, 40 percentage of males are literate and 50 percentage females were literate. As per the calculation of 2011, 82.14 percentage male were educated, means literary, and 65.46 percentage females were literate. So the rate of that education and literary rate is increasing. Education has brought a remarkable change in the lives of many people. It is helping to change that views and remove some infanticides and stereotypes. Gender is now of that laser consequence in the section of that subjects, education and jobs. Certain communities and economic groups find that challenging that gain education. Girls from that disadvantaged classes like ST, SC, OBC, they are getting many schemes from the government for further study and education. Girls from minority communities less likely to continue their education, to pursue higher education, and they occur due to the support of that funds and facilities and social pressures. So mostly girls in the rural areas, they left education because of family pressures and transport facilities, and that stereotypes, and because of that lack of fund, they leave the education. School is a place where children at a very early age learn the social values that affect them throughout the whole life. So everyone has to get that primary education. So every child must attend school, and those that change must be included to correct the real value of gender. Schemes like Right to Education, Midday Meal scheme, and free books, these all schemes are done by the government. Yet in slum and villages and house bags, that's we continue to face some struggle against women. Equality, constitution and gender. Equality, constitution and gender. The essence of Indian constitution lies the idea of equality. They need that equality among all. As a result, it becomes that the responsibility of the government to create, ensure that equality of women. We know that gender is there. It ensures, and it's just like facing the problem of stereotypes. And we know well, it is vital for the women to attend school, to choose a career, work outside. So, and the work of women should be respected at home and outside the home also. And for that, we have to create a real society or educated society and in society to create equality among men and women. That gender equality leads to the social and economically that development of the whole that nation. Some government initiatives are there, separate that ministry, the ministry of that woman and child that development deals with these issues. Ministry of Women and Child Development that is there, it deals with this kind of issues. Schemes runs for the better that betterment of women and girl child. Some skills are going on, some schemes are going on for betterment of women and girls. The government runs Anganwadis at each and every village all over the country. These centers are held, operated by the government, sponsored by the government, and that centers are taking care of children and mother and caretakers. It's worked as a child care and mother care centers. They cater that to children up to the 6 years. They are taking care of child and mother of child. In short, child care or mother care. Article 42 of the Indian Constitution, it gives equality to the woman in matters like public employment and participation in politics, and you know that the revalue of woman is there. Some seats are reserved in education and they build the value of women. It's a give the value of woman. Then we'll see women are getting education nowadays and they are getting most of the positions at that place. Understanding inequality. Gender inequality in India is a complex and it is a very complex and rigid system and problem for us because it is in present days many ways in many classes and in many fields. The origin of the problem we face that gender equality is the major problem is going on in each and every field. In each and every field, we'll see gender inequality is a major problem. The origin of the problem has always been the male ego. And no, in India, a woman is still not independent. In India, woman is still not independent and she needs the anchors of her husband. And in our society, some restriction women are there. Some society has restricted women to do work at home and take care of her home that work, and her primary that responsibility is to take care of home like cooking, cleaning and take care of children and that all. Her work is there, is always undervalued and her position in the society is considered a secondary position. In men, whose position remain central. The position of man is there, it is remain central position. Our Prime Minister also said about that no nation, no society, no community and can hold its head high and claim to the part of the civilized world if it that condones and practice of that discrimination against half of humanity respected by the woman. This is said by our Prime Minister that Mr. Prime Minister Manmohan Singh. So, thus the overall that development of society is of our country, it depends on the education of women and have to start respecting women and the real treat them at the give them more values as per with the men are getting value, that much value are got by the woman. For our nation's progress and also for our mankind progress, women are getting equal rights. To ensure equality to women, we will have to start working at the ground level, and we should have to respect women and given rights to them. The household chores and the other works should be divided equally among the whole family members, including male members, and there should be no differences between a son and a daughter, and between a woman and man. There should be no difference in treatment towards girls and boys. Most important thing is that we must change our mindset to abolish the prevailing these social norms. So we must change our mind concept to abolish this kind of that stereotypes against women, and women are getting that equal rights. The men, their works is valued more, and women are getting more educated. They are getting their rights. Then only our nation will progress. So the chapter about that gender in India. I hope you understand this well. Thank you, Bye.